Hey everybody, it's Chris for AllEars TV and AllEars.net, and it's time for another ride-through. Well, actually, I guess it's a sail-through because people were going on a boat. Today we're heading to Norway and a little ride called Frozen Ever After. Now, unless you're from outer space, you probably know the movie Frozen. I mean, the film went on to become the highest-grossing animated film ever, making $1.2 billion, yes, $billion worldwide at the box office alone. That's before merchandising and all the other good stuff that goes along with a hit movie. Now, if you are from outer space, I'll tell you what, can we please cut to the editing room for a second? Okay, so for those of you from outer space, this is Anna, and this is her sister, Elsa. Some stuff happens, things go bad. Elsa sings, "Let It Go." Little more stuff happens, and there's a celebration. Woohoo! Okay, welcome to Earth. Try the avocados. Let's get to Arendelle. The designers of the film took a field trip to Norway to study the architecture and to plan out Arendelle. And while there, they noticed that a Norwegian folk pattern called rosemaling was painted everywhere, and they heavily incorporated it into all of the columns, ceilings, and even the dresses of their fictional world. Now, when the ride first opened in 2016, guests experienced a 5-hour-plus wait time. Now, the lines still get long, but not quite that long. There's no height requirement on this ride, and although it's a dark ride, there are some small drops. There might be like some small scary moments for the kids. Frozen Ever After replaced Maelstrom, which occupied the spot from 1988 to 2014, and the attraction uses the same ride vehicles and ride track, although the loading and unloading areas from Maelstrom are reversed for the new attraction. The room that previously held the Maelstrom Theater has been transformed to fit an extensive inside queue that's incredibly immersive and filled with tons of nods to the film, so make sure to read all the signs. When we were there a couple of months ago, we were traveling with an elderly family member on a scooter. We were in the fast pass lane, but even so, it's a pretty tight queue inside that room, and I was amazed that the scooter had no problem maneuvering around. If you're waiting in the long standby line, you're going to go through Oaken's Tokens, which is a little extra bit of the queue. It's a general store, but you can spot a small window where you can catch a peek at Oaken hanging out in the sauna. I always feel that really cool anticipation when, you watch the people in front of you get in, they go away, and you're like, my boat is next, let's do this. Like many of the boat rides, it's a simple step down, but you'll want to hold on to the hands of your children, and some of the elderly may need a hand in as well. One thing I'll give Disney a huge hats off for is that they never make you feel rushed when you're trying to help an elderly family member into something like a boat. Here we go. Now, one of the first reveals you see are icicles that are hanging from the ceiling. And they're from when Anna, Kristoff, and Sven are searching for Elsa. And Sven gets tons of these caught in his antlers. One of the first familiar songs from the movie we hear is "Do You Want to Build a Snowman?" And that's the song that Anna sang to Elsa when she wouldn't come out of her room. That song, which brings so much emotion early on to the story, was cut many times from the original film and then added back in and cut again, and it was finally put in one last time right before its release. That's Grandpappy, the troll who's sharing his wisdom with the troll children. He was the troll who warned Elsa about her powers in the film. This ride has a really nice pace about it. It's not too fast, not too slow. Disney is kind of brilliant when it comes to pacing for children because just when the children start to get kind of bored with the scene, boom, you're right at the next one. Now, the song that plays as we're led up to Elsa's Ice Palace is the opening song from the film. The soundtrack won a Grammy for Best Compilation Soundtrack for Visual Media, along with an Oscar and a Golden Globe for Best Original Song. In fact, Let It Go sold 10.9 million copies in 2014. Frozen Ever After is the first Disney ride to feature all electronic audio animatronics rather than the hydraulic animatronics you'll find in older Disney rides like Pirates of the Caribbean, which means much smoother movements. Elsa freezes this fountain at the end of the movie and turns it into an ice skating rink. In the movie, for the first time in forever, which is played in this section, it's sung by Anna and Elsa on Coronation Day. In the film, Kristoff plays this instrument, which is a lute, when he sings "Reindeer Are Better Than People" to Sven. Oh, stop. Back up. Right there, that's that Norwegian folk pattern called Rosemaling. You're welcome. Continue. This always gets a laugh from the kiddos when Sven gets his tongue stuck to the pole. And then the big reveal, Elsa sings the award-winning song "Let It Go" after accidentally freezing Arendelle. Now the boat's going to switch tracks in this room, so you're going to pull in, you're going to kind of move to the right while you switch tracks, and that's time if you need to get your kids ready because you're about to move backwards and pick up some speed. Now, in a great moment where the Imagineers were able to marry a cinematic feeling to a piece of theater, the big climax of this ride is that your boat gets pushed backwards. It's almost as if you're the camera zooming way back at the end of a big song. Most of the time, the kids are so amazed that there's Elsa singing to me that they're really not going to care that the boat is moving backwards. However, the darkest part of the ride is coming up along with a second drop. If you don't want to get wet on the ride, and there's a slight chance that you might, because I did on the first time, which my kids thought was great, avoid the first and second rows and try to get a seat on the right side of the boat. Next, we see Marshmallow, who was created to keep people out of Elsa's ice palace. The Snowgies were introduced in the short titled Frozen Fever. Elsa is sick in this short, and every time she sneezes, more appear. Now here your boat switches tracks to move forward again. You're going to feel the track shift as we get ready for another drop. The drop is 28 feet, but it's not as steep as the drop in Pirates of the Caribbean, which is actually only just below 14 feet. And smile, this ride has an in-ride photo pass. You can check out all your park photos in the My Disney Experience app and purchase a Memory Maker package to download them. And by the way, all of the original cast members provided voices for their characters in the ride. For this finale scene, the outfits are the same that the girls wore in the Frozen Fever short. I also can't help but notice that little triangle window above the door and how it feels like a stained glass homage to what we've seen in the Beauty and the Beast artwork. The ride can only accommodate around 1,000 riders per hour, making it one of the lowest capacity per hour attractions at Walt Disney World. Top of the list is Enchanted Tales with Belle, which only moves around 300 people per hour. Now, if you couldn't snag a fast pass and you really want to make sure you get on the ride, you can make a reservation for the Frozen Ever After Sparkling Dessert Party. Guests attend a dessert party with a viewing of the Epcot fireworks, after which you're escorted to the ride for a minimal wait. A great way to actually end this ride is to meet Anna and Elsa, which you can right next door to the Royal Summer House. So did you love Frozen Ever After? Do you think it was worth the wait? What's your favorite boat ride in Disney World? Tell us about your experiences in the comments. Be sure to stay tuned to AllEars TV and AllEars.net for more Disney news, fun, and stuff. Want more ride videos? Check them out right here. And please give us a like and a subscribe to AllEars.net. And hit that little notification bell so you immediately get notified when we post a new video. This is Chris for AllEars TV. See you next time.